we founded our campaign in 2014 following Maidan. We founded it in response to a situation in our own movement where we saw deep retrogression arising from Russia's hybrid war, causing a great deal of confusion and opposition that we wished to challenge. And we were founded by progressive sections of the Ukrainian diaspora, by trade unionists and by members of the Labour Party, with many years of solidarity with workers in the Eastern Bloc and in Ukraine. Since 2014, we've waged a number of campaigns. I see my friend Yuri from Kryvyi, who proud addressed the British Parliament in 2015 on the struggle in Kryvyi. And so we were well placed when the all-out invasion began to build solidarity, and I'm pleased with that situation. One of our first acts when Putin's army assembled on your border and the embassies were leaving Ukraine is we sent a delegation to Ukraine to express our support from the Rail Workers Union and from our Miners Union. Since that time, we've set 4 priorities, we believe, for solidarity. The first is to organise direct aid, both humanitarian and military aid that we can provide in modest ways for your soldiers. Secondly, we've campaigned for justice for war crimes. We believe it is vital that there is an international tribunal from the lowest ranks of the Russian army to the highest echelons of the Russian regime. We believe they should be named and they should be prosecuted as war criminals and terrorists before the international community for the crimes against humanity that have been committed in the course of this war. Secondly, we believe it is vital, and though for some this may be uncomfortable in the global trade union movement, that we campaign and we advocate for weapons for Ukraine, not only weapons that are enough to resist the Russians, but to achieve a victory against the Russian invaders. And to that end, we have campaigned in Parliament, in our Labour Party and in our trade unions, in the view that we don't believe that the British government has provided all the weapons that could be provided in order to secure a victory against the invaders. And we consider, certainly in the year ahead, it will be important that the global trade union movement as a whole doesn't just talk about peace and solidarity, but campaigns vigorously to ensure that there is no fatigue or forgetting what is happening in Ukraine, that the Western democracies sustain the military aid to Ukraine and increase the military aid to Ukraine so that you can achieve victory. Fourthly, we believe that, if I can quote a hero of mine, Ivan Zuber, that famous dissident, the national question is simultaneously a social question. And to us, that relates to the issue of reconstruction. As you know, we had a conference in the United Kingdom only recently on the issue of reconstruction of Ukraine. Indeed, it was almost a secret event. There were no trade unions and no civil society allowed to attend. We held an alternative conference that another Ukraine was possible, and that it's vitally important as a trade union movement and our Labour Party that we seek to influence the reconstruction of Ukraine in a positive way. We ensured and were influential in the Labour Party, who will be the next government, have a policy for a socially progressive reconstruction that ensures the participation of trade unions and civil society in the democratic process, and that we don't allow the plunder of the Ukrainian economy by big business. And I particularly highlight those big businesses who have continued to do business in Russia whilst this war has continued. And we've also ensured the adoption of a similar policy by our Trade Union Congress, which represents over 5 million workers. I believe we have a special role in solidarity on the issue of weapons and on the issue of the reconstruction of Ukraine to support you in all your efforts. I will conclude by this, that to us, solidarity was automatic with you as a people long oppressed to resist the imperialist aggressor. It's also, we have a shared history in the sense that in Great Britain we were part of the resistance to fascism before World War II. We have a shared history in the sense that we also had to engage in a reconstruction, which could be a shared experience and many lessons learned. But there are also lessons learned that if you appease the aggressors, if you appease the authoritarians, then the situation will sink into an ever worse spiral of wars, of aggression. If Russia is not defeated, global democracy will suffer. And in that sense and in that context, we are committed and we argue that the global labour movement do everything within its power to help Ukraine to win. Peremaha.